相変わらずやかましい奴らだ。
今度は背中合わせで行くわよ。
よっしゃ、第7班ここに復活だってばよ。Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas kahit anong lane, we become the monsters. Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas face the golden sun and ribbon for the 3 stars. Look at us to the top, no ifs, no buts. Winning any game, para to sa PINAS. Di mo matitinag aming boses sa new level. Nasa kalye man o mobile, you know I become a legend. Rapid fire, we unite, we winners. Built with pressure, like diamonds are made out. Switch na lane na parang gera, HP racing, may reset up. Tagatang buhat ni Hilda, full load SS parang Lyra. Susundan ko ang iyong bakas, kasama patas, tagumpay na dito dahil tayo'y malakas. Para sa Pinas, nasa amin ang alas, hindi dito atras, kinikilala sa taas kasi kami ang malakas. Para sa Pinas, nasa amin ang alas, hindi dito atras, kinikilala sa taas, ganito kami sa Pinas. Wow! Surrender, no retreat. Pag nagsama-sama, just imagine what we can achieve. Lacking every beat, no surrender, no retreat. Giving 100 all my all, cause we just cannot be defeated. We are unstoppable, immune and invulnerable. Ready ang equipment, lahat frozen, malang crowd control. Pakita ko na jab like pow, beast of the southeast. So what I would proud and loud, cause every enemy we devour. Susundan, kilala sa taas kasi kami ang malakas. Para sa Pinas, nasa amin ang alas, hindi dito atras, kinikilala sa taas, ganito kami sa Pinas. Wow! Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas kahit anong lane, we become the monsters. Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas face the golden sun and weapon for the 3 stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we the
lakas ng Pinas. We unite with the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas. We unite with the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas. We unite with the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas. We the stars.
The official bank partner of MPL Philippines. Mas magandang bukas, buksan sa BPI. Our partner in esports, Time Zone. Join the fun at Time Zone. TT Racing. For those who dream, work, and play, TT Racing has your back. Clear. Power up your dandruff-free scalp. Supercharge with Clear. Don't miss any MPL action by following our official Facebook and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow MPL Philippines on TikTok for more content. Experience the lakas ng Pinas of MPL Philippines Season 15 action live at Green Sun Hotel. Grab your playoffs tickets now via the official MPL Philippines website. Host unforgettable events at Green Sun. Enjoy the Arcade Haven promo available.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is MPL Philippines Season 15, The Playoffs!
Pero papasukin na kami ni Bruce ng Isaman Force. Andito naman abihin sa araw. Mama na naman. May kasamang trap. Likod ang puntirya. Andito na naman yung Redekta kay Outplayed.
Sa likod
Apat
pa!
na miyembro pa ang tutumba. Yes,
no!
sir. Si MP na lang ang natitira at wala na. Ata siya kaabutan pa. Dahil ang Onyx Philippines, match point na.
Onyx Philippines, kalmado lang. Nandiyan pa rin sila Keller, Busco, and Kirk.
O pwede ata nila tapos ito. Si Kailan kailangan ng matras.
Power up! Power up!
Bibase lang na ang Twisted Mind. Hindi pa tapos ang laban. Twisted Mind takes this game.
And with that, to a score, we're going on to a game number 5.
Pwede na tayo
King Kong, King Kong!
Sige, go. Naku, tinahin na nakakapirmahan. Mamamatay ang dalawa. Magiging tatlo pa nga ba? Nakabawi din. Sila mag-advance sa next round.
Ano nga ba ang una nating going to be the sword?
Sa kanyang buhay, nakuntog pa mula kay Flap. Ubus ang DNC Pro Team at ang Team Falcons. Match point na.
And double na nga yun sila Easy!
Oh my gosh! Namatay si Benny Cutie at si Trimar na lang ang natitira. Pipilitin niyang pigilan ang paglipad ng Falcons pero hindi magpapapigil at sila mag-advance sa next round.
Quest for immortality continues as we have our final 4 teams of today.
Who will ascend Champions Arena?
Ako, si Hans Galeria. This is also the time for them to be more than legendary.
Ang una ba namang magtatapatan are none other than the grand finalists of the Trailblazers of the new era, Aurora Gaming versus Onyx Philippines.
It's Team Liquid Philippines going up against Team Falcons.
Sino kaya sa kanila ang kayang magpakita?
Tutuloy-tuloy lang tayo because this is the second day of MPL Philippines Season 15, The Playoffs.
And welcome to the English panel here for day number 2 of the playoffs here. It's me, Nice to, and it's...
Come on, man.
they're used to seeing us sitting, man. So
Yeah. I already, I incredibly missed the desk. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I didn't realize how much it hit and it did for us. But yeah, no, I'm happy to share the panel with you. It's the first time I think we've shared like a panel style, like analyst style together throughout our entire careers. And now we're doing it for the playoffs and in a very crazy day as well, day number 2.
Day number 2, man. And we were on desk yesterday. We got to see some the clips for that. It was a full day, 10 games all around, 5-game series, and it was one hell of a day to kick off the playoffs. Unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to 2 teams, and now we are here in the upper bracket semis, and we can't wait to see exactly what unfolds here. I like how Hans and Odin mentioned it too. These are some former grand finalists, in different seasons. So before that, we have to go ahead and give a thanks to our sponsors. Now, you're equipped with all-day 120 FPS system, the next-gen Infinix GT30 Pro is the new official tournament phone, powering the next seasons of the MPL Philippines.
Yeah, and it's exciting because we've always just been talking about the GT20 Pro. Now we're in the 30 series.
Yeah, we've upgraded. But there's also more for the MPL fans and X fans. You guys can get ready to witness Cup Philippines, the local group stage.
Yeah, that's going to be live streamed from June 14 to 15, and the national finals will be on June the 28th, only on Infinix Philippines Facebook page. This is XCCPH.
3 other regions still competing. You guys have all the eyes are starting to get set on what's going to be happening at EWC for MSC and everything else. And we'll find out shortly in the next couple days which our representatives will be from the Philippines. Now, go check things out. Go check those games out, because what an electrifying way to go ahead and start off the playoffs. I don't think people thought from the first series, and I know Renmar, we talked about this on the desk a little bit, that was going to be a 5-game series.
Yeah, this is the first time we ever got a 10-game day number 1 for the playoffs since the start of the franchise system, since even way back season 7, season 6, so it's an absolute first. The fact that Twisted Minds got to take Onyx to the limit, almost taking them out. The fact that TNC Pro Team almost that MSC trophy that's eluded them for so long. Well, it didn't happen. Falcons are the ones that went on to push on.
One of them happened last season to the grand final, and then of course later on for our second matchup we have TOPH versus Falcons, and that was season 13's grand final. So a whole lot of action here, and if you remember, we touted that really as the Battle of the Titans.
Yeah. And it's so cool because it sort of redefines what it means to play in the Champions Arena for the organizations as champions. It's the players. In Rora, you have world champions, multiple time champions. Same goes for Onyx, Falcons, Team Liquid. There's so much illustrious history. The weights and hands of all the players, the top 4 in our playoffs.
Top 4, and even when coming into this, like our matchup with Rora, we have had that whole story of what I felt like this season was kind of like a redemption in a way for them from their last, couple international appearances. They improved so much from the learnings that they had from those, and they've gotten themselves to this point. Now, our big thing yesterday was during that time off from the regular season to, where we are in the playoffs, how much the teams improve, and I think Aurora was already massively ahead in terms of some of their play styles and their aggression and the way that they calculated things, that I want to see what they bring now, after the break here, because this is the thing about it is we can go ahead and recall what paved the way for basically the new era of last season. That was when Black Echo or AP Bren, they didn't make the grand final for the first time since season 9, and that kind of set the stage for a lot of these newer, I guess, storylines to come into place.
Yeah, 100%. And it's so cool to see that we're already getting this as early as day number 2 with the good ball rolling for them up until they finally hit their stride with that 10-series win streak to close off the regular season in season 15.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. I'm trying
Sonic, but then
of course, as you can see in Aurora, we've got the Kite brothers. That's Demon Kite and Domain Kite, and across from them, we mentioned this even before, it's that KK connection. The two are really compared a lot of the times here, Renmar, but what do you think? Like, is this what sets them apart here? Because they're both amazing duos, but what gives them advantage? Because there's a lot of advantage right now for the KK duo.
Yeah, statistically for season 15, there's still a lot more leaning towards the side for Onyx Philippines as KK for Keldra and King Kong. But when it comes to the Kite brothers here in season 15 compared to what they were like in season 14, it's just Aurora are getting significantly more kills compared to what they were getting last season. If I'm not mistaken, we'll also get to see the season 14 head-to-head comparison. This season is at around 8 average kills per game. Compared to the season 14 stat line, which we'll see in a bit, it was at around 6.15. There we go. very different story for Aurora this time around. Last season, they weren't getting so many kills, but the objectives, it's not going to be super flashy, but it's going to be K connection style of play.
On the fact that I loved watching RSG play. I was a big RSG fanboy. Fortunately, they're not here anymore. But that was a lot of in credit to me liking Demon Kite back in his amateur scene when he got into. But since then, the advancements that have happened around the globe to catch up to that, I feel like the level and the competitiveness that we have here in the Philippines. But that's maybe we talk about that another day.
Yeah,
I don't want to start a debate here.
I'm sure I'm going to say this now. For the people who are, again, we haven't won MSC in a while for the past 2 installments, but it's because we've had to go up against some incredibly insane teams. The 2023 Onyx from Indonesia, where they almost completed the Golden Road. The SRG team in 2024 that was going on that insane win streak. They continued that even past MSC 2024. So it takes a next level of team, some great teams internationally, for us to win, for them to win MSC.
Let's go ahead and say hi to our fellow casters over there. Hello, guys. How you doing? Can you hear us?
What's up? Naisu and Redmar, Brigida, Rockhart, and Leo here. Chilling. We're enjoying your trip down memory lane, talking about old Calra, old DK.
Old or young DK.
Young, old and young. We get it. We get it.
You could barely recognize their faces in their old graphics.
Yeah, man. The hair has definitely changed, And guys, you hear how loud it is in here? I mean, maybe you guys are a little closer to the action. They're heated. I feel like this is almost like the grand final from last season, if I remember. I mean, we were here technically. The casting desk, we had a little flip-flop, right?
Yeah, it was at the second floor.
And you guys were down there.
And Brigida, we were downstairs.
And me and Leo were up here. I'm getting a little flashbacks, man.
Oh, I was actually somewhere else. I was at a watch party during last season's grand finals. And I could feel the energy of the crowd because it was late. It was game 7. It was all the way similar to what happened yesterday. So, it could be another game 5, maybe?
Hey, you're here.
Hey.
So maybe so.
Hey.
Let's go ahead and ask our community, guys. You can let us know in the chat right now. Is this the new era? Is it Onyx era? Is it A, it's Onyx time? Is it B, C's the win? What do you guys think on the caster desk?
Yeah, I think it's still Onyx time.
Yeah? Yeah. Still Onyx time. How are you, Rockhart?
I can kind of see the lights here.
Whoa!
And so Brigida, where are you going, Brigida?
I don't have a watch, but I also feel like it's Onyx time.
It's also Onyx time?
Atta girl.
Okay, well, it's a 2-to-1 split.
Wait, is that also their match predictions? Are those your match predictions also for this one?
You guys got your emotes there?
There you go.
Okay. All right.
So bright.
Show off the emotes because you guys can go ahead and grab your battle emotes right now. Don't forget to grab them while you can. They're amazing to go ahead and spam, of course, in your own games. And you can grab them for relatively cheap as well. I think they're, 109 diamonds or so?
Yeah. It's for a limited time only that you can get them. But once you get them, they're going to be there with you for life. The good thing is that limited time is all the way up until August 5. So you have what?
That's like
2.5 months.
Yeah, quick math. 2 months.
Keep getting those battle emotes.
What should they not miss out on?
I really like the Falcons one.
This amazing
on the
deal.
amazing deal.
Oh.
He's a Falcons guy.
That's all right. He's a Falcons guy. He's not locked in like he should be.
I'm still high on that victory.
That's later. That's tonight.
Yeah, that's tonight. Nice try.
That's going to be later. Guys, I know you guys are excited about the game, so of course we can't wait for that. Keep them up, and we'll see you guys relatively soon. Again, electric here in the Champions Arena. It's already packed or nearly packed for all the teams here to get locked and loaded and ready for this one. Redmar, in just a second, we're going to be inviting the teams out here. What was your prediction? I mean, can we predict?
Yeah, I think we can predict. It's tough here. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Onyx, but it's so close. I think it's a 3-2.
Yeah. You think it's 3-2?
Yeah, dude.
Hey, man, I wouldn't complain if we get another 10 games today. We had it yesterday. We were here for a long time. I can't wait to see what happens today. And I think for a lot of the fans out there, they would also like to see all these games go the distance, go 5 games. You guys can let us know in the chat, of course, who you think is going to win as well and predict, and then make sure you get the emotes to support your team. For me, I mean, if I was going to ask myself or you were to ask me,
Yes.
I would probably say I'm going to have to go with it's Onic time, man.
Oh, it's Onic.
I think they're on this like redemption. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Ever since the win streak that they've had, and let's be honest, everyone was on the edge of their seats yesterday, and it wasn't just because we were part of the, super fan rap battle.
Yeah.
I was doing a whole lot there, but I am going to go ahead and say I think it's Onic that grabs this win. Either way, though, I'd love to be surprised.
Yeah.
That's not to discredit my boy Demon Kite, though. Demon Kite, hey. Make me a believer again. I'm still a believer.
Since season 8. That's the first time I ever heard you say you were a fan of a player like, that Demon Kai kid. Big fan of him.
He's pretty good.
Pretty good. And then look at where he is now, right?
He's here now. But again, for Aurora, they've got a lot of great things, but the stats didn't lie. If you guys saw them when we broke them down, they are going to go ahead and compete now. Now, even one of the teams that loses here, of course, they still have a chance in the lower bracket, so it's not an elimination day. So they'll still have that option for them. And I think if there's anything that we can say about yesterday, man, the drafts were pretty spicy. There was a lot of good new picks coming out.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's going to continue. We're still going to see Bakshaw, Fredrin, Lucas, all contested. But Dang is definitely going to be a big player for this series. Whatever gold dinner they're going to end up with, draft spicy.
Drafts are spicy, the players are ready, and let's go ahead and welcome them out to the stage for the matchup.
MPL Arena, please welcome our marshals for this match, Joshua, Chico, JJ, and David. It's time for the upper bracket semifinals with the first match of the day, Aurora versus Onic Philippines. In the EXP lane, Edward and Kerr. Philippines, Coach Reinhardt, and for Aurora, Coach Master the Basics. Your last year's grand finalists, the Trailblazers of the new era, MPL Arena, it's game time!
Alrighty, they are locked and loaded, and this is the lineup for Aurora that we're looking at once again. Let's go ahead and introduce them. It's Edward, Demon Kai, Yue, Renajay, and Domen Kite. Keep your eyes on the Kite brothers for this one. And not only that, I always feel like you always can't count out Mr. Consistent, whatever you want to call Edward these days. He has so many names, but he does play a big part of this. We know how important the XP lane is. Yue loves to bring out, it's so funny seeing the Sicilian there, still for that top hero pick of his, and then of course Renegade, the hitman, the heel man, the everything man, always brings so much to the roam, you know, and that is a high impact role for them to make work.
Yeah, and for Onyx Philippines with Kurt, King Kong, Super Friends, Brusco, and Kelra, actually, if Onyx has their work cut out for them in terms of trying to think about what US gonna end up playing in the center of the map, Aurora has the same problem with Super Friends. The Farsa, the Selena that we don't have a record of the US showing up with, and of course the Valier that Super Friends reintroduced to MPL Philippines with Onyx this season, becoming a huge success for them, which now for Aurora, then okay, if you have to think about Super Friends, how then are we gonna ban around making sure that King Kong doesn't end up with a comfort? He'll always end up with a comfort. While at the same time not taking a hero away from Renegade because they have a shared hero pool.
They've got the shared hero pool, man. And speaking of that, 47 to 48. Both these teams are so flexible in the draft, and that's why we were saying before we introduced them, it's going to be a spicy draft because of how much flexibility overall there is. Yeah, there's still the hot picks going through, but ultimately, this is a good chance for some of the teams to bring out some of the more maybe unorthodox picks that we haven't necessarily seen just yet because of the fact that they are in the upper bracket semifinals. And then other than that too, like we were talking about, man, I think realistically, yeah, mid lane, you leave a lot of room for something new there, but I mean, even the Eve was such a surprising factor in yesterday's games.
Oh, yeah.
And either of these guys can play it. Of course, you have the Valier, like you mentioned too. So I think really what I want to look at is the XP lane.
Yeah,
because of these two, Kirk and Edward, and at what kind of impact they're going to have. Because even then, like we saw the Baksha planted in the XP lane in the hands of Flap yesterday. And these types of XP laners, when you have Kirk and Edward, they can be even a little more different than what Flap likes to do.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you mentioned the EXP lane here. Of course, with the draft difficulty that playing around the mid lane, drafting around the mid lane brings to the table, you have to look for stability somewhere, and that has to come through the EXP lane, which now has an extra option in the Baksha. You're not just stuck with the Hylos. Even Edith has showed up yesterday, and it's a reminder to everyone that we've seen her sparingly all throughout the season, but she's definitely still a great pick.
And before we get to the matchup again, we're going to have to go ahead and check out our players' ping test for this match. Let's throw it over to them.
Posted cable parang pinakamalupit mo pala sa buong Pilipinas. Sobrang solid ng panic ka, pare. Hindi tumitigil ang straight cable. Sana nakatulong yung 10 pesos ko kay Brent para maligtas siya ngayong lamination. Malaking tulong yun. Paano pag kinulang siya ng 10 pesos? Oh, ako yun. Ako yung 10 pesos doon kay Brent. Maliligtas yun. 10 pesos ko, 10 votes yun. Bali pagka kinulang ng 10 si Brent, edi naligtas ko siya. Nalalamunan ka, saan nalalamunan ko. Nag-check ping para mabad trip si Erp. Hindi ako magsasalita. What happened, Bella? I know. Vampire, right? Vampire will to me. Idol ng bayan. Si Idol ng bayan pala to eh. Kaya mo nga ako. Try mo, di mo kaya, boy. Pag naganto ko, tapos na si Doming eh. Pag pumesto na ako ng ganto. Postura pa lang, halatang solo kill ka namin eh. Yung papa-XP, kasi di mo naman ako kaya eh.
And that's our smart ping test of bringing you low latency gaming with Smart's Sulit promos.
Subscribe to Only 5G with non-stop data for non-stop gaming on your favorite loading platforms or the Smart booth right outside our MPL venue.
For our international audience out there, we basically had a couple, I guess, trending things going around right now in the Philippines. Kelra was doing a pose that I've been seeing everybody do, but I have no idea what it is. And then you had Demon Kite going ahead and doing the what's happening Vela thing right now. So, but this matchup, let's look at the Infinix keys to victory here, Renmar.
Yeah, if you're Aurora, you have to definitely punish Onyx overextending tendencies. One of the best qualities of Aurora this season, as Demon Kite stares into our soul, is their capability to punish even the slightest of errors. Onyx are really great at that, but it's because they mask it with just some really good aggression, early aggression, so that you prevent Aurora's snowball. Aurora, another thing that they do very well is that they understand their timings. But if you take them out of their comfort zone, well, it's hard for them to make a comeback. Play the series one game at a time for Aurora and Onyx. We mentioned that there's a lot of pieces you have to think about in terms of the draft in just the mid lane. We haven't even talked about the other lanes as much yet. So take it step by step, pick by pick, sequence per sequence, then you can get the victory.
You know, I really like that last one, man. It brings me back to my days of playing sports. And I had a coach that always said that, because even when we were in the championship run, he said, guys, one game at a time, one win at a time.
Yeah.
Basically, you know, so you don't have to think about too much, because sometimes when you are in the playoffs and you're competing, whether that's a sport, whether that's an e-sport, it's all the same. You want to be able to focus and hone in on that one game you're going to play right now. You know it's a best of 5, but don't worry about the other games, possible 4 games.
Yeah.
Just focus on what you're doing now, and we've seen that time and time again with our players just here and of course around the world, and how they're able to stay at a high level for, you know, such a long time in a series. You think about it, we had some of the longest games yesterday to kick off the day. What are they? I think the average was 20 plus minutes?
Yeah, I think on average it was around 22 minutes that we were doing it. Real quick, nice to if you were the coach of both Aurora and Onyx, how would you give them like a very quick one-worded pep talk?
One word?
Okay, fine, a quick little phrase.
Lock in.
Lock in.
Just that's it. I'd look all in the eye and just say, lock in.
Yeah, we actually got to see Coach Why Not do a little bit of that. The Onyx players were laughing around. Coach Why Not gave a friendly little tap to the back of the head, a super phrase. Oh no, I think it was King Kong. And then everyone just shut up then. And everyone locked in.
That's basically coach speak.
Yeah.
That's coach language. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys can't wait for it. So we're going to jump into the draft here in just a couple seconds. It's game 1 in this best of 5 for us to kick it off between Aurora and Onyx Philippines, last season's grand finalists. What will change this time around? And jumping to the draft, I think we're going to have a little bit of help here too through this, but right now you can see the band's coming out, by the way. Band's already coming out. Renmar, how's it looking here?
All right, we did mention the Badang popping up, and it pops up as a band because Badang frequently showed up as the first 2 picks on the red side. Aurora, of course, taking away the 2 main comforts of Onyx, which is the Low Eve Super Prince and the Joy of King Kong, while Onyx is just doing their due diligence with taking away the Matilda and, of course, making sure that Demon Kite doesn't end up with a Fanny. But yeah, I think, Briggy, we need some help here.
Hey, they took out the Harris, so that leaves the Kalea open. Which is
not even a hi, Brig. Come on.
Yeah, you didn't even say hi. She was just like, I'm gonna go straight to doing my job.
Hey, but okay, fine, because
at least say hi to the Brigadudes. Come on.
There we go.
To Redmar and everyone watching.
Thank you,
the
Brigada.
English stream right now.
All right. Wait, so what's your prediction here for the first pick?
Yeah, the Kalea is there too. But I believe the Jushin has also appeared in some cases as a first pick for certain teams. And however, Aurora does have a tendency to go for other picks. And there you go. They go for the chip instead.
Yeah, that's the other pick that we mentioned. But if I'm not mistaken, the chip is not as successful as Aurora would want it to be in their hands. Highly punishable, which means Onyx are looking at potentially locking in a Lucas at maybe the 3rd pick.
Do they go Baksha in the first swing or no?
I wouldn't knock it. I like the Baksha, but I think to be safe, they might want to consider taking the Phobius or the Hilda.
Yeah,
Phobius Hilda.
And this is Aurora, by the way. Yesterday, we've seen instances of teams just introducing other picks to counter out lineups, including the Baksha.
Yeah.
There were teams that sensed it, so they took out stuff like the X-Borg and all that. But it's very likely for Aurora, considering that this is Demon Kite. He's the guy who stick with the Suyo even after the patch happened.
Yeah, he's also just one of the formidable players that brought out the... Wow, they go 1-1 with the Kalea.
Well, all right. It seems like Kelra has enrolled in the school of... And they lock it in. It's the first 2 picks right instantly. And of course, they get the Kalea. I think you pick up the juice. And now, if you're Aurora, or maybe something a little bit burstier for the mid, you definitely pick up comfort for Edward.
There's a
Phobius and, excuse me.
And interesting, again, you're building around the fact that you have this chip that you can utilize. We saw a lot of good usage of the chip, but also you lose those team fights pretty easily. But hold on, that's the Fredrin going to be locked in with the Granger here.
Yeah, so I like this because Onyx, I think this is them picking up the 1-1 in the first 2 picks sort of showed that a part of us kind of expect that the Fredrin is coming out.
Yeah.
Because 1-1's great for those slow front-to-back style of team fighting, while Aurora, I like their first 3 picks. You have the surprise factor, the sudden entry, easy access for a Fredrin to go in, while you also have strong range damage for the Granger. Very balanced first 3 picks for Aurora.
Yep, and Onyx right now, they can definitely take out some other heroes, particularly mid-lane heroes, which could pose as a problem, considering that they have the 1-1 in their hands. Yesterday, we did see how the Farsa has responded pretty well to these kinds of instances. It's not just the mid-lane heroes too that they're considering right now.
Yeah.
It's also the Phobies, which we earlier mentioned, since Aurora decided to prioritize the Granger and the Fredrin.
Yeah, I think Onyx has to consider taking out the Hilda, but I remember we've talked about this before. If Onyx aren't careful, Edward might have his hands on a Benedetta by the end of this draft, considering there's a Fredrin in your jungle, a chip in
Pick up a
the
little
rope.
damage.
Get some good damage in there. You need that.
Yeah, and if they really wanted to, I don't know if they actually would, but maybe even to the extent of an Edith. Like, he's one of the players that can also play an Edith there in the XP laner, but Benedetta would be great. Just, you know, go for that damage. You can see here, too, just how successful we've seen the Kalea in the hands of Brusco. You know, he's played it 6 times, 83% win rate. You always got to remember, the way that teams have adjusted to the Kalea for the most part is usually at least 1 Purify or double Purify that they can work around with.
Okay, that was a quick response though from Onyx Philippines
That was.
immediately after the Valentina ban by Aurora. So they take out the Faramis, which is another potential response to the crossbow of Tang, which happens later on. But that means that they definitely have to consider the picks like the Hilda, which you mentioned, because those are the kinds of XP laners which might be able to sustain things a little bit more. Also opt for an early winter crown if ever they want to. But I'm still open to the possibility of a damage XP lane.
Damage XP. What else? Let's see. What's the last band going to be here? Is it still going to be in the mid lane? They've got the choices here are narrowed down, but we already talked about how UA and Super Prince are so versatile in that lane.
I think they have to ban either the Farsa or the Valir, but no, they're willing to give it. They want to pick up the... Oh, well, CC's actually really great against lineups with the chip, a slower style of a Fredrin, and Onyx immediately picking up the Juicin. Okay, so they're not going to be going for burst. Onyx lacking burst. This is slow building up damage.
The kill potential might not come in until later for Onyx Philippines.
You think UA plays Zask here?
Sicilian, his favorite, still there
Or just
too.
Sicilian?
You know what? Why not Zask, right?
Like Zask against the Jushin, you know?
Last season and even in the regular season in season 14, that was the main trade. It was Juice and Zask.
Yeah.
It was those two that we always saw going up against each other. We saw a bit of it yesterday, so why not, right?
Be a good option here. Again, we'll find out when they decide to go even for that XP lane, if they're going to go and lean towards some more damage.
Or there's the Arlott Fredrin combo too.
Oh, yeah. That's left.
You forgot about the Masha.
Yikes.
The Masha damage.
The main problem that Onyx has is Aurora has all of it. They have all of the damage that Onyx wished they had.
It's like burst early game, and then, you know, Masha gets the late game, and then she's the burst.
Yeah.
It's like, it's me now.
Yeah, the damage profile of Aurora is really good. Strong map presence. This is going to be an incredibly tough fight for Onyx, because so far it looks like Aurora has won the draft.
Oh my goodness. If you watched yesterday's series with that chip and the Masha.
Oh, we were there.
See, like, this is such a...
We were there.
This is such a reminder of what happened just yesterday. I mean, last night. Or
I feel like it was just last night. Yeah. I think me and Renmar both. It's just like, yeah, I think that happened last night. And I know exactly what you mean. So, Onyx Philippines, they decide to go and opt for the glue pick to go ahead and bring that in the XP lane. So, interesting. Final thoughts here, Renmar, on the drafts.
All right, I like the glue. It's the perfect answer that you could go for with everything that Aurora has thrown to the table if you're Onyx Philippines. But there's something about the lineup of Aurora that just screams easier to pull off, not as hard to mess up. And the damage is what scares me the most about their lineup. I'm going for Aurora for this one.
You're going for Aurora for that one. Again, the Champions Arena is ready for this. We get one last look at the lineups here, and that's a whole lot of big damn for Aurora, as I would like to say it. Plus the 2 Purifies to play against the Kalea. This is going to be a tough game for Onyx Philippines. We'll see if they're able to pull it off. Once again, these picks that have come through are crucial to get your foot in the right direction in this best of 5. Remember, too, that the team that has to deal with this. Well, we'll go down to the lower bracket. Let's throw it over to the casters to take us into game 1.
Trailblazers of the new era in action. Game 1 in a best of 5. Moving forward through the upper brackets is the winner. It's Aurora versus Onyx Philippines. Leo at your service here with Rockhart and Brigida bringing you the action. I will echo Renmar. It's very rare that we actually just agree on a draft. This is difficult for Onyx to execute, even for them.
Yeah. Like, looking at the lineup itself, there are several counters which are already pretty much present, but hold on. Okay, that was close for Brusco. Going back, it's not just the Kalea that can potentially be countered out by the Purify that's in Aurora's hands, right? It's also the stacks that could come in from Kellera later on. Like, if he gets to at least land 2 and just black 1, the moment he just either Yue or Dominic decides to pop the Purify, then that'll almost register the entire effort's useless.
I really love that you mentioned Kellera, because as much as I really do agree, hold on, Fato. Look at that. Renegade might be in trouble here. Going down first blood. No ultimates yet. No shortcut or anything. Means he's going to go down. But Demon Kite does allow him to get a little bit of vengeance, get some of that gold back in.
Well, that was interesting. I mean, it's Onyx who we've been constantly talking about as a team who might be potentially lacking in terms of early game damage or even kill potential in general, but they just really went in aggressively, trying to invade even a Fredrid jungler.
As I was about to say earlier, I feel like, yeah, I mean, I love the Aurora lineup, but you look at when you think about Kellera and you think about the Wanwan, what do you remember, right? Like, you remember that insane 1v4 maniac play that he did on his own a few years back, and you think, you know what? This guy is scary.
That's right. In the summer of 2022, this was one of Kellera's main flames, the 1-1. Personally, it's the reason why I call him the Filipino Savage, is he would play forward in your face. Now, Super Prince starting with the Crimson Beacon. First turtle up.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful engagement here coming in from Kirk, but will be slowed down a little bit. Brusco can't really do anything yet. Doesn't have the Tsunami Slam. King Kong will be getting that turtle, and they could get a bit of an edge here on the coming fight, but looks like Aurora can decide to disengage.
Rockhart, you don't even need it. Onyx brute forced their way into scoring that first objective.
Yep, Kirk did a great job in managing Edward from getting out of his lane. It's not just that, it's also the way Onyx Philippines were able to immediately force out the Purify from US, so he barely could position himself in a spot that would guarantee space for Aurora.
This is better though. This time, Tsunami Slam is on, and here we go with a pincer here coming in from Edward and Renegade. They're basically tanks though. Edward's a good damage, will not be usable yet on Masha. Here comes the shortcut. They're diving in on King Kong, and King Kong gets taken down.
The Sigma King falls. Now Super Prince falling back.
Oh boy, great follow-up from Aurora. Super Prince tried to get some of that HP back, but no go. It's gonna be a lot of bodies hitting the flow here for Onyx.
And they basically show us this is how you punish others. Oh, wait. There's another engage coming in from Onyx. Are they gonna commit? This is Demon Kite though. He's really tanky. King Kong's gonna catch up.
There we have it taken. Brusco out of range here with US. Feathered airstrike. Edward is a huge threat on the front. Look at this guy going 1v1 on Kirk here.
Oh.
If there's anything we're going to learn about that first turtle fight, is Onyx can only re-engage when it's time. So Onyx time, that's what they're going off of, this very single-minded lineup. They can barrel through you, but only when they're ready. If Rora comes in and says, no, you're not ready, we'll flank you, it's over.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the main pointers we had in the keys to victory earlier. It's that Aurora can potentially capitalize on all these overextended plays that Onyx may potentially commit in the game. And we've seen a couple of them even in early as just 4 minutes of this game. So this is something that Onyx probably has to take into consideration because they've been forcing out a lot of reactions from Aurora, yes, but Aurora has the tools to actually punish them successfully.
How about Turtle 2? Onyx having a go at it once more. King Kong starting up. Demon Kite spotted him. Brusco to the scene. How did Renegade get back there?
Oh my goodness, Renegade out of nowhere here. Getting another kill for Edward. This time around, King Kong is gone. No more turtle retribution available here. Shortcut is still active. They could go back if they want to. They could also bring Kirk maybe, but looks like that's not going to be a thing. They're going to just whittle him down slowly, force a flicker out, and then just keep the fight going.
Why walk? That's how we got there. Why walk? And Onyx did not check that portal.
Yep, there are some crazy back and forths that are happening right now. Dominic Kite didn't even need to join in the fight because Aurora has the necessary damage, or just even their mere presence and dominance on zoning out Onyx Philippines away from potentially contesting that turtle. So that's the first objective. Oh my goodness, I thought the concussive blast was actually gonna get it away. Because they're being forced.
Moment, double kill for Domingo. Double kill for Domingo. That means that's gonna be stacked. That means that's gonna be stacked going into.
The way is worth it.
Yeah, it's only been 7 minutes, but just look at how they're constantly invading.
There's an absolute domination here. Portal is active on that shortcut, and Kirk is all alone here on the front. They can't really go near, but they will be able to take out the Hitman.
Renegade is costing them so much.
Yeah.
It's not like he didn't die recently for another 2-for-1. He respawned, came back, and then caused them more trouble.
Yeah, Onyx it feels like Onyx already know that they really have to deal with Renegade, which is why they tried and attempted to take him out, but it just cost them a lot more, especially as they have to consider the other damage dealers. They have to consider Yue. There's no one, essentially, who could reach the damage dealers at this point. Both Dominic Kite and Yue are proving to be a huge problem, and this is what you get for a glue. You get to start things front to back, or ideally in this kind of scenario, control of...
Sadistic what Aurora's doing. You saw that last turtle, how they were saying, look, turtle's at neutral, all right? Demon Kai's not even close to it. King Kong, come on. If
Full-scale denial.
Yeah, if they do that, King Kong gets punished, then comes Kirk!
And they're trying to do this. Kirk is the one trying to do the punish, and the stick gonna come in. Yue is so far away from home, though. Shortcut is active once more, using that Tsunami Slam to isolate Renegade.
And Kirk got away with it. So this is the first win for Onyx since that first turtle.
Yeah, the shortcut was launched right after the Yue actually used the Wings by Wings alongside Kirk with a grab. So we were able to, or Kirk was able to take advantage of that shortcut that was readily available. And the fact that Onyx, during that team fight, were able to split up or even just zone away the damage dealers, again, courtesy of Kirk, they were able to take advantage of the entire scenario, punishing at least one member from Aurora. But this still doesn't change the fact that there exists a 6K gold lead in favor of Aurora.
All right. It's a blessing to know what's wrong. And so far, Onyx has figured out that if we divide and conquer, we can cut down that lead. We can get away with free wins. But Aurora, they're still in the driver's seat. Gas, pedal to the metal, and look at that. Edward is not letting up. These holy shields are gonna go.
That's right. Just like what we saw in the games yesterday, right? Exactly what Free Martizi has been doing. This Masha really starting to get into form.
Yep, and that Masha is on the way to a second item BOD. So imagine if actually Renegade gets to look for the perfect target with the shortcut and then just calls for Edward to try to burst him down with all the thunderclaps that are readily available. And now Onyx needs to watch out for that portal near their purple buff, because Renegade might decide to come in anytime, and that's exactly what they're doing right now.
It's a favored portal for Renegade. And again, how unfortunate that it's close to the Lord too.
Yeah, and Renegade can actually do it, but he's a little far from zone here. Doesn't really have that much information. They're waiting to make a big play, essentially. They don't want to be too crazy. And maybe looking at Edward. Maybe he's waiting for the call from Edward on top.
Yeah, this is a very difficult Lord dance for Onyx to partake in. They don't know the steps. They got 2 left feet, and they know that Edward
there he is.
could get a split push. Clean take. Aurora scores, nothing Onyx could do.
That was a perfectly timed Y walk there for Renegade as well.
They had to deal with the waves, and as much as Brusco had the information, he was just standing there in the brush right next to the portal. There was nothing they could do because there were other things that they had to deal with. Again, the waves, and you couldn't contest an objective that was already almost burst down here technically by Aurora. There's the Winter Crown pickup, by the way, as well by Demon Kite. So you could expect them to play this a little more aggressively because they can just bait out that crossbow of Tang.
Yep. The way that Demon Kite is building this Fredrin, again, he's very comfortable with the hero, not just because the resurgence of utility junglers is he having to play this. He's used to the old Fredrin. About 2 years he had to play the Fredrin to stay on top of MLB Sports.
He's Keller with a crossbow of Tang, but Kirk, their big front line, is now out of commission. They're going to have to back off here.
2 for 1. Again, the Hitman capable of buying so much away from the Super Famine. Kelra Wintertron!
Oh my goodness, that win chant was right on time. 1 second less, and that could have been it. It will stay alive for the meantime, though, and it will still allow Onyx to clear.
Yep. There's airstrike coming in from Yue, but they're just zoning out Onyx. They don't want to go away without taking a single base turret from Onyx, and there's 30 seconds before the next objective, but it's just looking very rough for Onyx, considering that even when Keller was able to dish out the crossbow of Tang earlier, and despite the presence of the corrosion scythe with Talker and the Has claws, we barely felt the damage towards the members of Aurora.
Between the 3 items, 4 that Keller has, I'm guessing it's all utility right now.
Yeah.
Lifesteal, the attack speed, the extra farm with the Windtalker, the Wind of Nature, penetration. Invest in, what is this? Demon Hunter Sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should. This was a build that Benny QT2 decided to offer yesterday when they were way behind up against Team Falcon. So this is exactly what's happening to Onyx right now. So we definitely see the need attempts for so well through Edward.
Clear on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 6.5.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like they also know this, right? That's why they're not even trying too hard to go for the contest on that Lord.
Oh God, Lord's inside the base. What a synchronized push by Aurora!
This is a huge push. There's just no way that you can deal with all of this. Everyone is clubbed together.
Defending champions seem to still have some thoughts about yesterday, and this didn't feel like a game that they were all in on.
They came from 2 different sides and they made it work. A shortcut on the other side, and that feathered airstrike was perfect.
Let's check in with Naisu and Renmar to break down game number 1.
Man, oh man. That's all I can say. What a game number 1. I knew it was going to be heated, man, but Aurora came out swinging.
Yeah, I mean, Leo and I, we felt the same way. We were just like, dude, this is definitely going to be going Aurora's way with how they drafted and how they executed that. It was perfect. It was like if you got the best qualities of Blacklist, combined it with the best qualities of good old classic Deathball RSG, if you Season 9 RSG.
I could say, and he played it exactly like that. The Hitman was the portal man this time.
Yeah, it was the most utility